to think about Thursday. Today's topic is going to be fairly short and sweet. It is foods that can help to reduce the incidence of period cramps, whether they are cramps that you yourself are experiencing or cramps that your teenager may be experiencing as well. So I'm just going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, my top 5 tips that can have an impact. This is assuming that there is nothing significant underlying what's going on for you. So for example, you're not struggling with something like PCOS or endometriosis or anything like that. So this is assuming things are relatively normal, you are in relatively good health. However, the cramps are really not pleasant. And when I say not pleasant, I mean cramps that can't be managed just with some, what's the word I'm looking for? With some Nurofen, with some ibuprofen or with some Panadol. Cramps that keep you in bed for the day, cramps that take you out of action, cramps that have you curled up in a ball of agony, they are not normal. They may be common, but they're not normal. So if you are really struggling with cramps and they're excruciating, then absolutely I recommend going and getting them checked at the doctor to rule out any underlying conditions such as endometriosis, like I just mentioned. If, however, I lost my train of thought because an email popped up on my screen. Completely lost my train of thought. Well, while I'm losing my train of thought, if anyone's watching live, throw a hello in the comments because you know that I always love seeing who's watching live. Anyway, what was that train of thought? Super bad cramps. Get them checked by your doctor. Cramps that maybe take you to bed for the day or half the day and that can't be dealt with by ibuprofen, that really stop you from your normal activities of daily living, then we may be able to help just by making some tweaks to your food. So my top 5 foods that can help reduce period cramps. Number 1, oily fish. Salmon, sardines, mackerel, all of those sorts of things. Salmon in a tin with bones, even better because it's got some calcium as well, and calcium can also help reduce cramps. But the oily fish is full of omega-3 fatty acids, which we know have anti-inflammatory properties. So if you can get oily fish into your week, a couple of times a week, that would be brilliant. And in the lead up to your period, have it maybe 3 or 4 days in a row, for example. It can just help reduce that inflammation and therefore reduce the incidence of cramps. Alternatively, you might want to consider a fish oil supplement. If you don't eat fish at all, a good quality fish oil supplement is worth having a think about as well. And some people find that they have a daily fish oil supplement and then they increase it just in the lead up, maybe a couple of days before their period and the first couple of days of their period, and that can have a beneficial effect in terms of reducing cramps. So, oily fish or a fish oil supplement. That's number 1. Number 2, nuts and seeds, in particular pumpkin seeds, and really any nuts that you want. What I am looking for there is really good sources of zinc, and pumpkin seeds are great in terms of providing zinc. We need zinc to make progesterone. We need progesterone to help lighten our periods, and when they're slightly lighter, then we get less pain. So if you can get, either for yourself or for your teenager, if you can boost their intake of nuts and seeds, brilliant. Nuts obviously are a great snack, or have it as a nut butter on bread. Pumpkin seeds, roast them in the oven and sprinkle them on your salads. Put them on top of muesli with some yogurt. Just have them like with a trail mix if you like, whatever you want. But they're really, really nice and really good source of zinc, which you need to build progesterone, which you need to lighten your periods, which will help reduce cramps. So that was number 2, nuts and seeds. I know that's 2 things, but I just lump them together. Number 3, leafy greens. And leafy greens, so your broccoli, your spinach, your does cauliflower count as a leafy green? It's got some leafy greens around it. Asparagus, anything with lots of big green leaves. They contain magnesium, and magnesium, as you probably know, is really important for helping our muscles relax. So if you are not getting enough magnesium in your day or your week, or in your lead up to your period, that can have a negative impact on cramps. So boost up your foods that are high in magnesium. Spinach is a really good green leafy source of it. Incidentally, dark chocolate is also a good source of magnesium, so have a little bit of dark chocolate as well. There's other things, nuts. The nuts that I mentioned about zinc, also good sources of magnesium. So leafy greens, for their magnesium content, magnesium helps everything to relax, helps your muscles to relax, and therefore can help to reduce those period cramps. Number 4, legumes and flax seeds. Again, I've put a couple together, but anyway, bear with me. Legumes and flax seeds contain something called phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens help block estrogen receptors in our cell, which means we are better able to metabolize estrogen, which is one of our main reproductive hormones. And when I say metabolize, we release estrogen, it circulates through our body, and ideally it then gets processed by the liver and sent to our gut and gotten rid of. But sometimes it recirculates back through our body, and that's when we can have problems with higher levels of estrogen, which can contribute, amongst other things, to painful periods. So legumes, and by legumes I mean beans, lentils, chickpeas, those sorts of things, and flax seeds. And the best way to have flax seeds is to actually get the ground flax seeds, which is known as flax meal or linseed meal, interchangeable term. They can help to reduce excess estrogen circulating around your body, and therefore can help to reduce period cramps. And then number 5 is actually not to have something, but to consider taking it out of your diet, and that is cow's dairy. Cow's dairy can, for some people, contribute to heavier periods, and heavier periods are typically associated with more cramps. So if you are really struggling with heavy periods and lots of cramping, try cutting out cow's dairy for a couple of months and see what happens. So no milk, no cow's yogurt, preferably no cheese as well, but you can replace with sheep's milk, sheep's yogurt, goat's milk, goat's yogurt, goat's cheese, all of those sorts of things. And there's plenty of plant-based milks available as well that you can try. Just make sure you get a calcium fortified one. But for some people, they find just the simple act of cutting out cow's dairy actually can have a positive impact on the heaviness of their periods and also the cramping that they may or may not be experiencing. So that's it. That's my top 5 tips to help reduce your period pain. Oily fish or a fish oil supplement. Nuts and seeds, especially pumpkin seeds, so that you're getting lots of zinc. Leafy greens and maybe a bit of dark chocolate, so you're getting plenty of magnesium. Legumes, that way, legumes and flax seeds to help you clear out excess estrogen from your body, and consider avoiding cow's dairy for a couple of months and see whether or not that has an impact as well. As always, any questions, please reach out, message me, put a comment in the group. Curious to know, actually, for anyone who's watching, if you want to throw it into the actual our Hormones, Health and Harmony group, what sort of things you've tried that have had an impact for you when it comes to reducing period cramps. Thanks, Kirst. Beautiful to see you. I always like sharing things that other people have tried, because someone else might go, oh, that's worth trying. So feel free to post in the group anytime you like what's worked for you. And in terms of exercise, good point. Exercise can absolutely help to reduce cramps. I didn't even think. I went down the food path, but exercise, movement, and particularly I would think when they're really bad, like gentle exercise, like stretching, yoga, Pilates, just anything that moves your body gently but moves it, keeps it moving. So excellent thoughts. Thanks, Kirst. Lovely to see you on here. Anyone else who's watching live, lovely to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Next week I am skipping Think About Thursday because I'm in a training course all day. So I won't be around next week. You can always go to the guides section and find a previous topic of interest to keep an eye on. And I will see you all in 2 weeks' time. Have a wonderful weekend. And thank you. Remember, watching on replay, #replay. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Look after yourselves. Have an excellent afternoon. Bye-bye.